I'm waiting for my husband to do the intro to this video. He doesn't know what to say.
Alright, welcome back to Offspring Chaos. On this episode, or whatever you want to call it, we're going to head to the junkyard, pull the trans out. The one that we got in this one is blown out. So, yeah, we're going to head there. Our plan was to take out the trans for this guy, pull another trans to see if we have time for that one. They're both rear-wheel drive. So, most likely we're not going to have enough tools or the right tools, so we're going to be there all day. So, we're going to come back here, pull the trans for this one, get this one slapped in after we clean it all up, and then take it for a drive. Be awesome. Hit 10, so we'll be there about 10:30. So we wanted to pull two trans out, one for the Ranger and the other one for the Cadillac. So I think we'll only have time for pulling out the Ranger. I'm gonna get some wake up juice, so be out there for a couple hours late on the ground. So, all right, we found one. It's what year is this? 99, 2001, something like that. We found one. It's rear-wheel drive. It's got a 900 trillion thousand miles on it, but the wife checked the dipstick and it smells okay, so we're crossing our fingers that the trans is okay. I mean, it's the same one.
Wrong size.
Ow!
Hope you got another one.
It's a 12. I'll get you. So this is the one we're gonna be working on, so take hopefully an hour and a half to get this out. So all right, so Sarah's pulling out the drive shaft so we can get that out of the way. Hopefully it's not full of fluid, but dipstick said that it wasn't full of fluid. So we're gonna get that out of the way, and then I'm gonna start pulling out the starter. And then torque converter bolts and getting everything disconnected. So that's what we're doing now, so yeah. I am under here. Yeah, this thing's got oil pan leak just like the other one did, so it's great. And we're gonna have to swap the transmission pan because they drilled a hole in it.
Can you throw it neutral?
Yep.
They drill a hole in the transmission to drain it?
Yep.
Nope, no, park.
You're welcome. All right, so first we're gonna pull the starter out and then the flywheel bolts out. And then get all this electrical out of the way. The exhaust is already cut, so that's great. And then trans cross member, get the trans lines disconnected, and she should come right out. We didn't bring a jack, so it shouldn't be too heavy. Only about 900, 6,000 pounds, so we should be fine. All right, let's do this.
Or after the manifold.
So how you doing in here, honey? What are you working on?
I'm working on nothing.
Working on nothing, just got your finger in there, your hand in there, just touching
Does it look like I'm doing, know what I'm
No,
doing?
it just looks like you're kind of goofing off to me.
You see, I'm just hiding in here.
Yeah.
Just shut the hood.
All right, let's do that.
Alright, see ya.
All right, bye, honey.
That's as far as
All right, so we got it out. Only took 9 days. So we had the cross member that holds this puppy in there. Well, anyways, the weld nut on the inside of the frame broke free. We couldn't get anything in there, so we had to ask somebody to borrow their Sawzall for 20 bucks, but we got it. So
we'll learn.
Yep.
We learn.
Next time we'll come out for a trans or whatever else. We'll bring the whole toolbox. But finally got it. Alright, we're finally done at the junkyard. That took a little too long. This dang cross member took 3 hours to get one transmission out. So, yeah, like I said, the weld on the nut on the inside of the frame that holds the cross member up broke free. We couldn't get anything in there to actually get it out, so we had to cut it off. But once we cut it off, we slung it right out. So that was the only thing that really slowed us down. So we're heading back home. We gotta get the little one, take a nap, and get some food in our face. So then we gotta pull out the Ranger Trans, and then Sarah's friend Bones is coming over with the CTS. I don't know if it's gonna be today or what day, but we gotta do the same process of that one. So, but he's been a big help. He's the one that powder coated, well, sandblasted my stuff on the Mustang, but you know, he's got his own issues to deal with, so we're gonna help him out. So that's what we got going on. All right, so we made it back home. We're working on taking out the blown trans out of this Ranger. This one smells horrific. I already got the trans pan kind of draining out. What are you working on, honey?
Getting the top bolts for the bell housing. Last one.
Yeah. So we still got to take out the drive shaft, the rest of the bell housing bolts on the bottom. What else do we got to take off?
That's it. That's it.
Take off. We already got the cross member loosened. Yeah, then the puppy should come right out. So, but yeah, this train smells so bad. It's definitely burnt clutch. So, I don't know. There's absolutely no gears in this one left. So we're gonna clean this one up, make it all pretty looking. I don't know if we're gonna kind of spray paint it or whatnot, and then throw it back in. But we do have to swap out the trans pans because this one's got the hole in it from the junkyard. So.
Are you in park up there? Yeah.
You said what?
Park?
Yeah, I'm in park. All right, let's climb under here real quick. See what Sarah's doing. We're gonna take out the drive shaft here.
Yeah. My husband's making me work hard because I have to do it with the wheels on the ground, so I can't spin the drive shaft.
Yeah, there's 4 bolts in here. They're 12 point, and just being lazy and trying to get it off without jacking up the rear end. When we can't get it, we'll jack up the rear end and take out the drive shaft that way. We got the e-brake on, so hopefully it doesn't roll down the driveway. But up here, I'm working on draining this trans pan, and it's a stinky mess, and I don't know if they overfilled it or it's just that much trans fluid in there, but it's just draining for days. So we're gonna wait for that to kind of slow down a little bit. I'm gonna crack the bolts open a little bit more and see if any more can come out. All right, so we got the trans out. We did notice that there's actually a difference that we didn't take into consideration before, that this Ranger is a 02, and we pulled that one out of a 99, 98, 2000. Well, anyways, they're actually different, but the internals are going to be the same. So the input and output sensors for the speed sensors, they're actually on this one, but they're not on that one. It's not going to cause a huge issue other than the fact that the computer isn't going to really like it, and it's might shift a little hard or a little funky or delayed based off of, because it doesn't have those inputs or an output to the transmission, but it will read off of the differential, speed sensor in the differential. So we're going to go ahead and clean all these up, and we got to take the pan off of this one, throw it on that one because that one's got the hole in it, and this smells really bad. So so most likely what I think Sarah's gonna want to do is actually rip this one apart and then see what actually went wrong with it. Most likely we're thinking that the clutches got burnt up, but we're trying to figure out if it was just if he was pulling something or something broke inside, like something got locked up. But so that's gonna be another day. we'll get this one cracked open, or we'll just take it up back to the junkyard and just have them deal with it. Because most likely what they'll do is just dismantle this whole thing and rebuild it and sell it just for the case. So we're gonna get all this taken care of, get everything cleaned up because the little guy's about to wake up. So. All right, just took the pan off the transmission that came out of the truck here in the driveway, and it just smells horrific. Kind of smells like burnt hair and like somebody lit on fire, and it's giving me a headache. You can just see how thick this is. Look how thick that is. And there's just so much crap in there, so much. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. So I'm gonna get all this cleaned up and take the other one off. Hopefully the gasket on the other one's good. If not, and see if I can try to use this one, or we can just run up and get another one. So, but this looks pretty clean. I bet you that filter is just plugged like no other. So, yep. Here's the valve body. Alright, so a couple days later, the same night that when we started pushing this trans back in, Sarah had to go in with the little ones and take care of, the family stuff, and I came back out here to try to wrestle this thing myself. It was like 11 o'clock when I got done, when I gave up pretty much, and I was getting delirious, and I think I was putting bolt holes in the wrong places and everything else, and the engine's probably in the trans spot, the trans is probably in the engine spot, but so yeah, we came up with a good idea to kind of give me a helping hand, is use these ratchet straps up here to kind of hold the trans, so I'm not holding it by myself and wanting the transmission wanting to fall off the jack. So that's all we really have right now. So, well, we're gonna try again to see if we can get this thing slapped up, pull the trans back a little bit, make sure there's not any extra holes in the torque converter, because that was giving me a hard time in trying to line this stuff up. But hey, it's Memorial Day, this is how we're gonna spend it. Hopefully not all day, so see if we can get this slapped in, give us a good hour and a half. So let's do it. So we got everything lined up. I just took a couple arguments and mean faces and other PG-13 that we're not going to talk about. So we finally got it. So we're going to go ahead and start bolting everything back up, get the torque converter bolts back in, starter, everything else, flux capacitor, doohickey, thingamabobs, everything's going to get slapped back in here.
And since we put the trans where the engine goes and the engine where the trans goes, drive is now reverse and reverse is drive.
Yeah, so it's fine. All right, what we got going on here is the working on the starter. So when I pulled the starter off, they had I think it's the ground wire here. The ground wire, somebody just twisted this the wire itself and covered it with tape. So when I pulled the starter off, it just pulled right out. So Sarah made a new wire, and what we're gonna do is just gonna crimp this new one on. So I'm gonna get it all bolted up here and crimp it on once I get it installed in the truck. It'll be a lot easier to get this screwed on right now than actually fiddling with it while I get it up in the truck. So we're almost done here. Throw the starter up in here and throw the new wheels that we had for the other Ranger on, because these aren't the correct wheels and tires, and they're not fully mounted because the wheel offset and the inside of the hub ain't fitting over the rim itself. So We don't want them tires falling off while we're driving around, so we're gonna get them slapped on, go up to the store here and get some trans fluid and get this thing moving around. So hopefully not too much longer. We got it started. So what I had to do is while you guys were away, I went up to the parts store because we didn't have any Burcon V for the trans. So ran up there, came back, and when I was filling it up, it was starting to come out of the breather. So I had to get it started to get the pump going so it can push it all throughout the transmission. So I added another quart or two in there. I'll let it heat up, set the level, and now we're gonna take it for a ride. So the truck's really loud because they locked the exhaust at the exhaust manifold, so there's absolutely no exhaust. So we're running pretty much open header. So we're gonna let this heat up, and then we're gonna take it for a ride. So what are we doing?
Checking fluid level, and then I'm gonna take her for her first ride ever.
All right.
With me, at least, since we've had it for the last 7 months.
Okay, yeah, so I'm probably gonna stay here just in case something happens, trans blows up, falls out, whatever we did wrong or right. So we're gonna stay here. Well, I'm gonna stay here just in case, you know, something happens, so we can pull it back. So everybody else is gonna go. It's her truck, so she gets the the first full experience. So all right.
Hardest thing for him because he yelled.
All right.
Ready? No. First ride ever.
Is that Mom?
How does it feel? Oh my lord. We're probably gonna have to add more fluid in the trans. Wow, the whole front end is so loose.
Verdict is the transmission is working 90% of the time. Oh, door ajar. I don't know. The sensors are weird. Anyways, first to second gear shifts kind of hard because those input and output speed sensors aren't there, so the computer's kind of confused right now. But it's shifting, it's working, so it's gonna be good enough for us to kind of tote around the house until we get the 5.0 and T5 in here. So, but this exhaust is loud.
2,000 years later.
So when we were driving around, literally like 100 yards away from the house, the whole cat fell off because I totally forgot that we just threw it up there. So as I was turning this corner, the whole cat fell off. So Sarah's coming to help me lift it back up, and we're just kind of puts it back into the driveway. But it hasn't seen this this much driving in a while. But it's kind of funny. I'm glad nothing got broke. So yeah, it looks like that kind of popped up a little bit. But yeah, nothing's cracked on it. But I want to keep this sucker on here because I like the look of it. But all right, so that's gonna be the end of this video. As you can see, it's raining, so we just finished in the nick of time. So if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know how much more of this truck you're going to see in the near future, but there is plans to yank this V6 out and the trans out. We're going to get rid of it, sell it, junk it, scrap it, whatever we got to do to it. But it's going to sit here for a little while till we get some time to actually put that 5.0 in there, and it's going to be a heck of a lot more fun than what we got in this thing.